So now that we've got the majority of our functionality down, it's finally time to put back our icons at the bottom to be able to track the user's score. So the part where we're actually figuring out if the user got the question right or wrong is right here. And you can see that at the moment it's repeated in two places, right? When the user picks false and also when the user picks true. So let's consolidate all of that code together into a single function. So we'll do it right up here, just below where we have our scorekeeper. And we're going to call that method, because we're inside a class, so this is going to be a method that's associated with the class. And this method is going to be called checkAnswer. And checkAnswer is going to take a single input, and the parameter is going to be a Boolean type that's going to be called user-picked-answer. And then inside the parentheses, we're going to actually go about checking the answer. So we'll need to transplant some of this functionality over. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of this and take it out of here and put it into checkAnswer. So essentially, when we call checkAnswer, we're going to pass in the picked answer, and then we can check to see if it's the same as the correct answer. So instead of checking if correct answer equals true, we're going to be checking if user picked answer is equals, so double equals, to correct answer. And remember that a single equal sign is assignment, so left-hand side should now equal right-hand side, and a double equal sign is a check for equality. So we're checking to see if the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. And if it's true, then print user got it right, else print user got it wrong. So now down here, when the user actually presses the true button, we're simply going to call that method checkAnswer, and we're going to pass in the user picked answer, which is true in this case. But down here, instead of all of this code, we can actually simply just call checkAnswer again, and we're going to pass in false. So now we should have exactly the same functionality as before, but we've just moved it out into a separate method. So if you want to test it again, let's hit save and just click run, and we should still be getting the right answers or the wrong answers into our console. Now, instead of getting these print statements, we want to be able to add our icons into our scorekeeper, which we know is being rendered on screen at the bottom as a row. And as we have more icons as children of this row, they should build up along the very bottom. So as a challenge, can you figure out how to, instead of having these print statements, have our little ticks and crosses show up to track the user's score? Pause the video and try to complete the challenge. All right, so we know that we have this list called scorekeeper, and at the moment it's completely empty. We know that we can add to the list by simply just adding an icon, which is a check icon or a close icon. And we can also give the icons style, such as a color or size, etc. But we don't really want to do it here. We want to do it when the user actually gets it right or wrong. So inside these if and else statements. So if the user got it right, instead of printing it, we're going to add to our scorekeeper. So we're going to say scorekeeper.add, and the icon that we're going to add in there is going to be a check icon, so icons.check, and it's also going to have a color property, and the color is going to be colors.green. And then we've got our else, so when the user gets it wrong, then scorekeeper is going to get a new icon, and that icon is going to be the close icon, so icons.close. And this icon is going to have a color property of red. Oh, have to make sure I spell it the American way. Colors.red. Okay, so now all we have to do is to include all of this stuff, which we know updates something that's being displayed on screen inside our set state, so that when the scorekeeper list gets updated, our app knows to update the row over here and show up new icons as they get added. All I'm going to do is just to cut this first line of set state, and I'm going to put it right up here just before our if statement where we change our scorekeeper list. So now inside our set state, you can see that it includes changing the scorekeeper and also calling quizbrain.nextQuestion, which we know is going to bring us the next question in the question bank, and it will put it into our text widget here. So now let's hit save and hot reload and test it out. So some cats are actually allergic to humans. It's true. You can lead a cow downstairs but not upstairs. Maybe it's false? And as you go through this list of questions, you can see that we get our progress indicated, and it also keeps track of which question we got wrong and which ones we got right. So our question bank ends on the last question, and our app no longer goes forwards. But if we keep going, our question, even though it ends on this one and it won't progress and our app won't crash, but notice down here, we're still getting icons added depending on whether if we got this question right. So our quiz still hasn't fully ended. In order to fix this, we have a challenge for you. And once you're ready, I'll see you on the next lesson.